want to talk to that fear in you right now. I know about that fear. For 15 years, before I made the decision that I was going to stand up and be a professional speaker, for 15 years, I allowed fear to keep me silent. One, I thought that I would not be good enough. I have no college training. I never worked for any major corporation. Who would want to come hear me speak? Me? I mean, there's some things I feel strongly about, but why would anybody would gather in an auditorium to listen to me? I mean, I'm nobody. And that kind of thinking fed the fear of failure, fed the fear of disappointment, fed the fear that I wasn't good enough, fed that fear of they're not going to like me, I won't be accepted, I'm not qualified. All of those things paralyzed me and kept my lips sealed. And I want to be straight with you right now. I want to say to you that there are times that the audience will not like you. I want you to know that. You're not going to get every audience. I've experienced that. How'd you feel afterwards, Les? I felt badly. And I looked at myself, I listened to the tape, I went back to the drawing board and say, what did I do wrong? What is it that I can do to improve myself? And I worked on it. I've been intimidated by other speakers. I've been on programs where the speaker before me was so good and got such an incredible response from the audience, a standing ovation. I said, oh my God, I really don't want to come up behind that speaker. I had a program I'll never forget. A young man had to speak before me, and he was so powerful, and I was the guest speaker, but he was a young kid that had been invited to speak there at this special program honoring Dr. Martin Luther King, and he did the I Have a Dream speech, and I've heard a lot of people try to do it, but on that day, he did that speech with the power, with the magic, and mesmerized the audience to such an extent. When the pandemonium died down, everybody was walking out and they said, Les Brown is supposed to speak. And I pretended to have an attitude. I said, don't worry about it, and walked out. I was relieved. I was relieved. I said, oh God, thank you. I couldn't wait to get into my car. I mean, that's going to happen. They're going to be speakers better than you. Learn from them. He and I became friends, and I brought him on other programs, and I learned from him, a young man much younger than I am. There are times when you're not going to be able to connect with the audience, that you're going to be off. Your memory will fail you. You're going to do some things that will embarrass you. I spoke at the National Speakers Association and stepped forward and called Cavett Roberts Dick Cavett. And I didn't even realize it at the time until the second time that I did it to make a point, incorporating a name in my presentation, and I had to keep going. I could not back up. And later people talked about me and made jokes about it, and I was embarrassed. I was hurt. And I came back. That's going to happen to you. You're going to make some mistakes. But you know, my good friend Ed Foreman has something that he anchors his life on, I think all of us can learn from. He said, anything that's worth doing is worth doing badly. And I've used it so much, I've just taken it for myself. Anything that's worth doing is worth doing right if you know how to do it right. But even if you don't know how to do it right, it's worth doing badly again and again and again until you get it right. So this fear of making a mistake, you're going to make some mistakes. You're not going to be perfect. This fear of they're not going to like me, that's right. There's some people that aren't going to like you. There are people that are going to talk about you, that are going to criticize you. There's some speeches that you are going to give, and as you listen to that later, say, oh my goodness, I should have said this and I should have said that, or why did I say that, or why did I not include this story or that statistic, or why did I get the names confused? All of those things are going to happen. Why? Because we're human. We're human. Every time I speak, I experience what you experience, that fear. I get it off in a variety of ways. Part of it is I listen to tapes before I go in to speak. Part of it is I prepare myself to know that subject like the back of my hand. Part of it is I go out and I talk to the audience and I shake people's hands and I engage in small conversation to relax myself. Part of it is I visualize and I see myself successfully giving the speech and receiving a standing ovation and people loving me and accepting me and embracing me, and see myself confidently doing what it is that I want to do with that audience. And you must do that. It's going to come. The more you do it, the stronger you will become, and that fear will drive you as it drives me. I'm nervous all the time. I can't sit down and relax. I sometimes go to a banquet table and can't eat because I'm so nervous. I'm so excited. I never ever get so relaxed that I don't experience the nervousness. So I'm saying to you, don't worry about the fear. You can handle it.